Welcome to the It's Culture podcast. My name is Mark, and it's Culture. Welcome. If you got a minute, please like, share, and subscribe. Help me get to 1,000 subscribers, y'all. Do me a big favor and hit that thumbs up button, and click the notification bell for all updates when I go live. I try to post these videos once a week, and so to help me grow this channel. And if you even got ideas for shows, you can send me an email. I'll make sure I leave that in the chat, or either I'll leave it in the description below. Yeah, that's what I do. So, what I want to talk about today? Well, if you all have been paying attention, you've been seeing what's going on over in Israel, and there's been some things going on between the Israelis and the Palestinians. And now the United States seems like it's going to be getting involved with it. Now, if y'all don't understand what's going on in that region, let's do some little history here. So, these wars been going on since the biblical days. This area has been war torn for a millennia, just millions of years of just fighting and conflict. However, the Ottoman Empire had basically taken over all of Palestine. They were a dynasty that lasted from about 1200 until roughly the beginning of the 20th century. They basically, their home office was in Hungary, and these were Turks. These people were Turkish. So, right about somewhere in the mid 1920s, the British took control of this region, and it was right about the time where the Ottoman Empire was getting ready to crash because they were having issues. The bloodline wasn't really that strong, and it was a lot of coup d'etats going on with the Ottoman Empire. So you all can go look that up. I'm not gonna going too far in the weeds with that. The British took control over that entire region, that area, which was considered Palestine. To the bottom, you have Egypt. To the north, you have Jordan. Well, actually, to the east, you have Jordan. And then you have a little bit of piece of Assyria. So that area is really kind of carved up pretty well over there. Anywho, what happened was the British had control, and we knew the world wars were going on. We had a world war going on, and an influx. We started having German Jews and Polish Jews started to migrate from Germany into that region. They were there. Palestinians dominated that region. The Arabs dominated that region. Excuse me. So, as the war was coming to a close, the British basically didn't want to have anything to do with the Palestine. So they said, UN, United Nations, this newly formed council of countries, you all can deal with this. We're not dealing with it no more. And this basically gave it to the UN. The United Nations was only 2 years old when they got this. So in 1947, they decided to adopt a resolution 181. And in that resolution, they drew out a map, and it was like a British mandate of how to create an Arab state and a Jewish state. That's what they initially wanted. Well, that never came to fruition. And in 1948, the State of Israel was created, and boom, war started and sparked the first Israeli-Arab war. That war ended in 1949, and by that time, the Israelis had basically, IDF had basically taken over roughly most of Palestine, and you had almost 1 million Palestinians that were displaced, and so you had the state of Israel, and then the West Bank was given to the Palestinians, and the Gaza Strip was given to them, and then Tel Aviv was given to them, and then everything else was kind of like Israeli rule. So what has happened over the years in this conflict? Well, not only was Israel in conflict with Egypt, who was to the bottom of them, they've been in conflict with pretty much every Arab state over there. And this whole idea that they're, that they basically occupied, they came there and basically gentrified the area. That's essentially what happened. They gentrified the area, and the Palestinians felt like their land got stolen. So these conflicts have been going on since that time. Now you have Hamas, who came into power in 2006, but they've been around since 1987, like a terrorist organization. They're just bombing stuff, and their home base is in the West Bank, in the Gaza Strip. Here's the problem. The West Bank is bordered by the Mediterranean Sea on one side, and Israel on the other side. Is all occupied. North, south, for the north, the south, and the east part of the West Bank is basically walled off to Israel. They consider the Gaza Strip, which is split into 5, I guess you want to say, townships. They call that area, they call it the world's largest open air prison. Because it's poverty, crime, everything. They constantly, and they bomb. These conflicts be going on. They're bombed. More Palestinians have been killed in these conflicts than any Jews have. And so this last conflict that just started this week sparked a lot of outrage, and rightfully so. You never want to see innocent kids getting beheaded, women getting killed, because nobody wins in this. And the simple solution should have been to create a 2 states. Jerusalem itself is supposed to be sacred. It's not supposed to be the capital of Israel. Okay? It's not supposed to be the capital of Israel. Jerusalem, by the UN, is supposed to be its own thing that Israelis, Palestinians, and Christians share. Why? Because it's holy land. So the 3 Abrahamic religions are supposed to be able to equally share in Jerusalem because it's supposed to be holy. That's what the UN kind of decided, that Jerusalem was the only part that was off limits. Now we know that over the years that is not the case. You can remember when Donald Trump was in office, he basically moved the embassy in Tel Aviv which was Tel Aviv, which was in the Palestinian area. He moved it from Tel Aviv to Jerusalem, and claimed that Jerusalem was the capital of Israel. But that's not how this is supposed to go. It's supposed to be, Jerusalem is supposed to be holy, which means that it allows all 3 Abrahamic religions to be there. And it's supposed to be sacred and off limits. So just a place of worship, holy, and all 3 Abrahamic religions are supposed to be able to share in that. That's not the case, like I said, and it has not been the case. So early in the week, Amari Stoudemire came out his mouth and he posted a video. Now, those y'all don't know who Amare Stoudemire is. He's an NBA basketball player. He played for the Suns, played for the Knicks, a couple other teams. Well, he converted over to be an Orthodox Jew years ago. So he came out publicly with a speech, and he condemned the attacks in Israel, rightfully so, right? But then he took a kind of a spin on it, and he attacked black people. So we're gonna play the clip, and then we're gonna get back on the other side of that. Okay, so you heard the clip. I don't know what this guy was getting at. I don't know even why he brought Black Lives Matter into this. I'm already wrong for that. Number one, war is not good, and no matter who's doing it, whether it's Hamas side, whether it's the Israeli side, war is not good at all. No, number two, I have never heard you even utter anything or come out with any videos to talk about any type of brutality on black folks ever. Now, if there's a video out there, please, some of y'all put it in the chat. Link it to me so I can see it. But as far as my recollection goes and my research goes, I have never seen a video where Amari Stoudemire talking about anything dealing with black people at all. Nothing. I have seen him say that he was looking for a Jewish wife. I have seen that, but I've never seen him talk about black issues. So why would you bring Black Lives Matter up? So in response to that, Black Lives Matter Chicago decided that they were going to put out a statement. That statement was on Twitter, and it caused a lot of outrage too. Here's the clip. So you see what they were saying. They support the Palestinian people. Now, that sparked a lot of outrage online because obviously if you support Palestinian people, then they automatically assume that you support Hamas, which can be further from the truth, right? Like you could support people not being in an apartheid state, because that's essentially what they are. They're basically they've been in that land. They feel like they have, they've been there for a millennia in that land, on those lands. Their land got taken from them. They don't have any type of rule over it. They've been basically gentrified out of their own areas. And it should be a two-state solution. 2 states. Let's make 2 states and be done with it, right? That's what, if you talk to American Jews, this is what they say. They support a lot of Orthodox Jews have supported a 2-state solution. Majority of Palestinians support that. So you can support the people because you understand apartheid. Why? Because when apartheid was going on in South Africa, it was Black Americans who were on the side of South Africans to get liberated so they wouldn't be living in an apartheid. Because we understand what it's like to be segregated. We understand that. So if you see somebody come out and say that they support the Palestine, that don't mean they support Hamas. Hamas is a terrorist organization, front as a government. Nobody's saying that they support terrorists. It didn't say they had support for Hamas. They said they had support for the Palestinians. Why? Because those people have been suffering. And like I said earlier, more Palestinians have died in any of these conflicts than anything else. We're talking about getting beheaded, getting bombed. You got mosques getting bombed. You have women getting killed. You have children getting killed on both sides. So it's okay for one side to lose family members, lose children, be in your place of worship, get it bombed while you're in there. That's okay. As long as it's going to the Palestinians, but if it's Israelis getting bombed or whatever, then we're supposed to just, throw up and just show up. No, that's not how this works. So Amari Stoudemire, you cannot expect Black folks to say anything about this because, frankly, it's not our business. To be honest, do I want to see people die? No. Do I believe? Do I want to see countries at war? No. Nobody does. But this is all this world knows is war. That's where all these conflicts start from in the beginning. It was all about other countries and empires trying to take over empires. This is all war games. This is all this world is based on. It's based on war games. But don't bring Black Lives Matter up into this. You don't have to do that. There's the outrage is, why is this still going on? Why can't there be a solution? Why? We have a sitting congresswoman right now who is Palestinian, and you have white people around the country who are outraged that she's in that seat and they want her out of there for the simple fact that she is Palestinian. We have big contingency of Palestinian Americans in this country. So y'all saying y'all want them all gone? Y'all want to deport them? They're all terrorists now? We got to stop that. We got to stop that. So I just wanted to bring that to y'all. I would tell you to research it yourself. There's a lot about this Israeli-Palestinian conflict that a lot of us don't know. When doing my research, there's a lot of things I found out that I didn't know, and I would tell you to, do the research yourself. Turn off the news outlets. There's a lot of websites out there. The UN got stuff on it. You can Google all this stuff, and then you can see what's out there, and you can read up on these conflicts, and you can go and look at it and make a honest judgment for yourself. Because what it's looking like is this country is about to go to war, because Biden has already pledged his support for Israel. We already know that the country supports Israel. Why? Because we give them almost $4 billion a year for their defense fund. And we've been doing that for, who knows? I know as long as I was in, we were supporting Israel. That was 20 years. So so I believe that, it's going to continue. And these conflicts, you got Syria getting involved, you got Iran getting involved. Where does this leave the United States? Well, if we support Israel and we start aiding Israel, we got conflicts all over. World war, right? That's essentially what's going to happen. So thank you all for tuning in tonight. Like I said, do your research yourself. Until next time, keep it culture.